Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the channel. I'm the Artistic Hooper, and today I will be giving you guys a look at the game of basketball through the artist lens. And today we're doing a player profile on none other than Jared McCain. So we're going to do this player profile similar to how people in the music industry, in different industries of art, do something called a peer review. And I'm going to break this down in 4 different parts. So we're going to start off with part 1. What makes Jared McCain great? Let's talk about it. So first and foremost, Jared McCain has audacity. Audacity is defined as a willingness to take bold risks. That is his nucleus as a player. That is the soul of his project, if you will. Audacity is very important. It's a very important thing to have in art, and some people would even say it's a necessity. Art should always be able to answer the questions why here and why now. One has to possess the audacity to decide on an answer and make that answer matter to us. Jared McCain does not care about what anyone might say about how he moves, as decisiveness is a part of his personality, and that is exceptional. It's a great trait for anyone, but it's especially great to see in someone so young. I mean, think about this. This guy shares a locker room with one of the biggest trolls in the NBA. Without a doubt, Joel Embiid has no fear expressing himself. And I'm certain that at some point, someone brought up those TikTok dances and those pink fingernails and the hip gyration and everything. But when you see him on the court, it looks like none of that is a problem. And in a sport that is based in hypermasculinity and sometimes even toxic masculinity, that is extremely powerful. If he maintains that part of his personality, the sky is the limit. He could virtually work well with any play style in the league. Granted, he is around guys that want to win first. Next section. What is there to like about Jared McCain's game? Well, first and foremost, he has a great body type for the professional game. He is built like an early 2010s running back. He's like a dagger. He's like the knife a soldier keeps on them at all times. You can use that knife to cut wild-caught food, open supply packaging, or even fight for your life in a Saving Private Ryan type of situation. In other words, he is a necessity, similar to a LaDainian Tomlinson, a Reggie Bush, or a Deuce McAllister. He's built to move like a cheetah, swift and with precision. He can meet you at the rim, or he can be agile enough to contort his body and smoothly finish off a drive. Again, like a cheetah, he also has strength, the ability to pounce and subdue on an opponent, to be ferocious on defense, and force unnecessary mistakes. When you pair that ability with his audacity, that can create a true annoyance for any opponent. If there's anything about him that people might classify as feline, they should remember those things too. Let's also mention, Jared McCain is a Duke guy, which means he's almost factory assembled to be fundamentally sound. This is evidenced by his desire to constantly, and I mean constantly, get to the free throw line. I don't know if I can think of another young player that lives at the line like him. And with his playmaking ability, he can manage an offense or he can instigate offense with his passing. Like his Duke brothers before him, he's very unselfish and he puts the team first. He places importance on being active on both sides of the ball at all times, and most importantly, he values taking care of the ball. In short, he's a Duke guy. So, what do I think that he can ultimately be in the game? I see him as a new 2020 style, updated, modernized software coded with the DNA of Eric Gordon. A solid, consistent, true professional, bred for the game physically, prepared for the challenges of the game mentally, but with a twist. Imagine if Eric Gordon came with the personality of a worldwide beloved pop star. Now, no shade to Eric Gordon, much respect to Indiana's Mr. Basketball, but here is where the story can get interesting. Now, if I ask myself, what kind of artist would Jared McCain be? Well, for some of you guys, that might be a tough question, but for me, that came pretty quickly. When I think of a guy who's unapologetically himself, unafraid of typical male hypermasculinity tropes and standards to play into, unafraid of what anybody's gonna think if he gyrates his hips or paints his fingernails or goes against the grain in any way as a man, It reminds me of somebody else super popular and super successful, Lil Nas X. I would say Lil Nas X is probably the best basketball comparison to an artist for Jared McCain. Why? Well, Jared McCain has the spirit of an extremely talented SoundCloud rapper, much like Lil Nas X. Jared McCain is poised with the IDGAF disposition of people like Lil Pump. Instead of the it's just business oriented personality that might be expected of him. He plays into today's world very well, like the NBA brothers that came before him, LeBron, Carmelo, Kevin Garnett, Chris Anderson, and Chris Paul. They work to incorporate the world into their game as well, to show their personalities, to relate to us on the court as they would off the court. So it doesn't just show in the stat sheet for Jared McCain. For him, it's a part of his life, and watching him in rhythm feels more like a form of welcomed expression. Have I mentioned how cold it must feel to hit a step-back three on an NBA All-Star while flexing pink fingernail polish? Yeah, this guy is definitely a new breed. What's the verdict on Jared McCain? Well, overall, I think he's very good for the game. I think his body has to hold up for any of this to be true. And there is a genuine concern there to be had about that knee. Modern medicine's capabilities have definitely increased, and I believe he's the type of player that plays when he can play. So I hope he heals up soon and comes back when he's ready. I am expecting to see major growth from him in his second year. Much more comfort, much more confidence, and I could even see the franchise shifting focus from its previous process to its more current young talent in Tyrese Maxey, McCain, and even Gershon Yabusele, as he has really been a silver lining in an otherwise tough season for them. Jared McCain's TikToks are fire, you can't deny that. But he's also got a natural charisma and a fun way about himself that transcends basketball into pop culture. He is going to be a must-watch on any platform that he's on, for sure. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. If you like it, man, leave a like. If you like the idea of the channel, subscribe. We're trying to get this channel to 100K subscribers before LeBron retires. We don't have a lot of time. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Share the video. If you enjoy this type of content, let me know some other players that you want to hear about. And by the way, if you're familiar with this voice, yes, I'm Collaborate. If you know my music, thank you for tuning in. If you don't, go check it out. I'm going to pop something up here for my latest song or something like that. Anyways, stay tuned, all that. Much love, peace. Oh yeah, and Brownie's the GOAT.